Well, good afternoon. We are in the book of Philippians and we're in chapter 3. We've been following an outline that says there's the suffering of chapter 1, the submission of chapter 2, and salvation of chapter 3, and that's where we are, and the sanctification of chapter 4. Paul started out chapter 3 saying finally, just like pastors have another 10 minutes after they say finally. But Paul has been talking about the fact that he's not perfect yet, but he's pressing on to become all that God wants him to be. And he picks up there in verse 15, let us therefore, because we're not perfect, and because we are pressing on, as many as are perfect, have this attitude, and that if in anything you have a different attitude, God will reveal also to you. I think it's important to stop there right now. I think sometimes when we get a little proud about where we are as compared to others, that God then quickly points out all of the places where we fall short. And so rightly so, because we're nowhere near being exactly like Christ. And he has to point out all of those areas where we have not yet met the mark. However, let us keep living by that same standard to which we have obtained. That's another way of saying don't backslide. I know a lot of people say there's no such thing as backsliding. Well, I don't know what you call it, but there are times when Christians become carnal. And I think all of us are guilty of that. Almost every day we find a place where we become carnal about something. And he says, let's live by the quality that we've obtained. Let's not backslide. Brethren, join in following my example and observe those who walk according to the pattern you have in us. Well, Paul's not being so braggadocious that he would say, I want you to be like me. He's saying, I want you to be like me in the fact that you're striving to be like Christ. Now, let me say that again for you. He's not saying, be like me. He's saying, do what I'm doing, which is to strive to become like Christ. And so our example is not Paul, our example is Christ. And he desires us to be like he is in the fact that he's striving to become more like Christ. He's allowing God to work in his life so that he'll become conformed to the image of Christ. Well, I think that it's important for us to take a look every now and then and see where we stand as compared to Christ. Not as compared to others, but as compared to Christ. And I know I've got a long way to go. I don't know too many people that have just a short way to go. Most of the people I know have a long way to go too. Let us be conformed to the Christ. And let us model ourselves after Paul in the fact that we are going to strive to become more like Christ. That if we're not where we ought to be, that God would reveal to us those areas where we fall short. We don't need to try to worry about how to change others and get others to be more like Christ. That comes from a personal relationship with Christ. Now, he can use us as a tool to point out those areas where the others fall short and teaching and discipling. But it's between God and Christ and that individual as to where they are and what things God will reveal fall short of the glory of God. That's my thought for the day. Oh, wait a minute. I want to be sure to show you how Lois and I spend these hot afternoons. So here's a little clip, a still picture, but a clip of us in the lake this week. And we can either jump off our dock or we can go down to where there's a little nice white sandy beach at the end of the lake in our Ranger and take a dip. And this is what we did this past week. And whenever it gets a little bit hot and we've worked in the yard, this is a great way to cool off.